So this little trinket is called a vision. And characters possessing this trinket can use elemental skills and abilities. So cool, right? Well, we are going to try and make one. But this is not going to be like the previous times where I've made them. I'm going to try and make one completely out of the trash, or materials I would have thrown away but I never did. So in this video we'll be creating the design, then we'll trace the pattern and cut it out of foam scraps. Some gluing will be required after that, and then the painting can begin. To create the design, I'm just going to use measurements from this old cupcake container that I had. I used it previously as a mold for, I believe, the first Genshin Vision I created, but now I'm actually going to use the physical plastic. I'm not following any exact measurements or anything like that, I'm just doing some guesswork. But I'll try and leave the pattern in the description below so you don't have to do as much measuring and erasing as I had to do. I'm not drawing the entire design as I can use 1/4 of it to create the whole design. Just drawing those little hand-looking wing things on the sides. Okay, so I ended up redrawing the whole design as it was too long, so I had to squish it down a little bit. Alright, so to prove I'm not clickbaiting you, I'm actually going to use the scrap offcuts of foam that I have lying around the house. And like my previous designs, I'll just be tracing the picture over with a needle. And now using a white pen, we can just connect all the dots to make a full picture. So the main base shape, you'll need to cut out 2 of those if you're using thin foam like I am. And basically we'll just be repeating this process for all the little bits and pieces that go onto the vision. Just imagine how cool it would be though if you could actually get visions that could give you elemental like powers and stuff. Just take all of my Mora now. Alright, so these are all of the pieces that we'll be needing to create this vision. So time to glue everything together. Unfortunately, this time I'll be using crafter's glue, not my usual contact adhesive because I kind of finished that on the Genshin wings I did previously. So it takes a bit longer to dry, but it still works. I'm also just using the end pieces of toothpicks and then attaching them on the corners of the vision. This will give it a nice raised, beveled look. Before attaching the little wing looking ornaments to the vision, I'm first going to carve into it. If you look carefully on a reference, you can see that it's sort of beveled inwards, so it looks like little fingers or wings or something. So I'm just going to try and replicate that. So using a sharp blade, I'm just going to cut off certain edges and pieces just to neaten it up a little bit. And to neaten up the edges even more, I'm just going to use leftover foam clay. Alright, so the base of the vision is done. Now we can start painting. So in order to paint on it, we first have to sand it, because the paint actually needs something to grip on. So, as I said before, I'm just going to use an old cupcake container. Here I'm just drawing around the little circle, the imprint, so that I know where to paint. Not like it isn't obvious, but it's just so I can keep in the lines. So I'm starting with a blue base. So I've decided to create the hydro element, which means I'll be using a lot of different blues and a lot of different shades of blue, but I'm not going to be working off of a stencil this time. I'm just going to freehand it. It's my laziness shining through, my bad. For the pattern, I'm just going to draw a circle with an old tape roll, so I know where to draw it and where to start. This time around, I actually wanted the vision to look more painted than the others. Like the other ones, I just did flat colors and just used the printed stencil and all that. But this time I really wanted to go for a painter-esque kind of feel. Alright, now that the crystal jewel thing element is done, we can paint the base. I actually want to try and paint this to look metallic, but without using any metallic paints, if that makes sense. So we'll just have to see how that works. As I understand it, this technique you usually use flat colors and then you add tints and darker tones, and then after that you add highlights where you would normally see in real life something glowing off of a certain object that's metallic. I actually kind of like it so far. It's not too bad. Patting myself on the back for trying something new. So I'm just going to be painting the center blue. This will ensure that nothing will show through if it's off center or anything like that. Alright, so it's time to put the two pieces together. So I don't know if you'd noticed, but I did finally get some more contact adhesive towards the end of this video. So I'm using that to attach the crystal to the base. And that is it. So I had some old clear lacquer lying around and I sprayed it over the completed vision. But you don't have to do this if you don't have any. It's not a necessary thing. I just wanted to make it look a bit more shiny. But thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. If there's any questions, just leave in the comments below. And please like and subscribe, I really would appreciate it, as it would help the channel out and make sure that I'll be able to create more things in the future.